So hi guys, this is part 2 of my adventure with my new wheels and tires. Finally got my wheels and tires back from the tire place. The guys did a nice job there. It took a couple extra days because they didn't have any black balance weights. So they didn't want to put the silver ones on, which I really appreciated because the barrels on these aftermarket wheels are gloss black. So they wanted to get the black weights in there. So I really appreciated that. So it's everything's kind of stealth because you don't really see the weights. The black stems on the TPMSs, they blend in nice with the barrel. So I cleaned up the wheels, scrubbed the tires, then I actually coated the inside barrel and the painted surfaces of the wheel with this Geon ceramic coating. So I did that, just to make it hopefully a little easier to clean the barrel of the wheels, because once you get them on the car, they're tough to clean. So I'm hoping that makes the surface a little slippier so the dirt comes off a little easier. And then I used a turtle wax, ceramic graphene paste wax. I used that on the front surface, the machine surface, and on the spokes, because it's not really that difficult to clean the spokes on these wheels. So I stuck with strictly that paste wax on the front, but I used the ceramic coating on the inside of the barrel. So I'm real happy with the way these wheels look. I'm going to show you around, show you the tire a little closer. I'm going to be a lot happier to have all-season tires on for our type of springs that we get and the fall season that we get, because sometimes the spring and the fall here, you can't tell a whole lot of difference between that and winter. So I'm hoping they work out okay. So I'll show you around the tires and wheels now. So here's an issue that I had with these aftermarket wheels. The lug nut on my right hand is from my original wheels, GM factory lug nut, and the one on my left hand is the one I had to use to fit the aftermarket wheels. They're both, well, the one, the Corvette lug is a pretty wide seat, and it will not, well, it will barely drop in to the lug barrel of the aftermarket wheel, but you can't get a socket on it. That's how tight it is into the barrel. So the original lug nuts use that 7/8 socket. The one I had to get for the aftermarket wheels is a 13/16 socket. So what I did is I got 13/16, and then I had to put tape around it so I didn't scratch the barrel, because even the 13/16 to do the lug, it's very tight into the lug barrel of the aftermarket wheel. So I just put some tape around it to help not scratch it when you're torquing it down. So the one thing that I have now with the GM lug nuts is they're supposed to be cranked down to 140 pound-feet of torque, and I think these would be similar, these lug nuts would be similar to like for the C7, and I think their torque rating was 100 pound-feet of torque. So I'm not sure how far I'm going to torque these aftermarket lug nuts. I got it at 100 pound-feet of torque right now, but I might up that a little bit. So just be aware that the barrels, your lug barrels on your aftermarket wheels, may not be the same size as on your original GM wheels, and that's going to affect the size of your lug nuts. Of course, the threads are the same no matter what you're going to get to fit the studs, and that's 14 millimeter by 1.5. So I just wanted to bring that point up. So just be careful getting your aftermarket wheels and getting the right lug nuts for it. So here's my factory wheel on the right hand side, and my aftermarket wheel is on the left hand side. I just Don't know if I can really show you the difference here, but although I really like the aftermarket wheel, when you study the factory wheel, the spokes are a lot more thicker. They cover a lot more surface of the wheel than the spokes on my aftermarket wheels. It seems like the factory wheel, you know, without knowing anything else, looks a lot more, to me it looks more rugged than my aftermarket wheels. And it's hard to see, but here's the aftermarket wheel, and here's my spoke attached to the wheel barrel, and it's not nearly as robust, or much less material is touching that barrel than the factory wheels. So I'm a little concerned about the durability of these aftermarket wheels, even though I really like the looks of them. It's so much cleaner looking to me than the stock wheels that I've got. Okay guys, when coating with the ceramic, make sure shake the bottle good, make sure you're wearing gloves, and then work quickly, but make sure when you are applying the ceramic coating that it's even, smooth as you can get it, and make sure it's as level as you can get it. So when it's cool conditions like this, like in my garage right now, I've got about 10 minutes where I can work this stuff. So if it's warmer out, you have much less time to work it. You might only have 2-3 minutes to work it. So decide how big of an area you can work comfortably in a couple of minutes before this stuff sets up, and then, you know, wipe it off with a microfiber. Yeah, for what it's worth, this is the inside of the barrel of one of my new wheels, and there's different codes on here. As you can see, it says made by Forged. I'm assuming they mean it's a forged wheel. You can see the date the wheels were made. So you can see the VIA and the JWL. I believe those are certification indicators. I'm not sure what they mean beyond that. And I think the model number is the W567. And I just wanted to show you quick the tread differences on the summer tires, the one on the right versus the Continental Extreme Contacts on the left. Of course, the performance specs between the two tires, you would expect a difference. The one thing in the favor of the Continentals is that its tread wear is rated at 560 versus 300 on the Michelin summer tires. Of course, those ratings are taken from a standard 100 rating, and then the tires are based off of that. So let's say the summer tires are rated at 300, so that's 3 times a better wear than the 100 tire. And the Continentals have a 5.5 better rating than the 100 tire, which should equate to a better rating, and I'm sure it does, than the summer tire. Of course, the summer tire, I mean, there's nothing that's going to touch it from a zero standpoint. I mean, right from a dig, and the Continentals aren't going to match that summer tire at all in that regard. But both tires have an AA traction rating and an A temperature rating, and the Continentals hold their own pretty well in cornering. So I was impressed when I saw the specs on that. And I don't know a whole lot about the rainability of these tires. I mean, just to look at the tires, and I'm old, so I really don't know a lot about summer tires that it just looks like the rain channeling ability of the Continentals would be better than the Michelins, but Michelins are supposed to be really good and wet. So here's the new wheels on the car. I really like them. I like the way it looks. It's so much cleaner than what I had on previously with the original wheels. I just hope they hold up. I guess that'll conclude part 2 of my series on these wheels and tires. Just gotta get a little more information. I just not quite sure where I want to set that torque on the new lug nuts and the new wheels. I don't think I'll be setting it at 140 pound-feet, but I'm not sure. So I gotta research that a little bit more. Other than that, I think it's ready for a nice day's drive. So I'm going to take the car out on the next nice day. I'm going to run a comparison, how I feel about the ride quality of these all-season tires versus the Michelin summer tires, and I'll get back to you on that. So I guess I'll talk to you guys later. And if you haven't done already, could you hit that little subscribe button? I'm having a real problem gaining any traction with subscribers. Sometimes I gain a couple, and then all of a sudden I'll lose 1 or 2. And then I'll gain 2 or 3, then I'll lose another 1. So, I don't know why. I know the videos aren't that great, but if you can see it enough and you haven't subscribed yet, just hit that little button, that'd be great. Okay, talk to you guys later. Bye.